Hey, I'm in the kitchen again. But I'm not doing dishes this time. This time I am cooking myself some food. I'm just gonna do a stuffed boneless chicken breast. This is my chicken breast, this is some dressing that I did yesterday, and because I just recently rediscovered my love for the stuff, Laughing Cow. That's upside down. Laughing Cow. That's better. Ew, slimy chicken. Bam. Delicious. Oh. Yeah, that's right. There we go. Yeah. Bazam. I think this chicken's ready to get ovened. Ovened! Not really. Don't throw things into your ovens, kids. So while I'm waiting, let's talk. Talk and drink. Like gentlemen. So yesterday, Dave came to town, and our continuing tradition seems to be going to Don Cherry's and having some food. So yeah, we got together, we talked, and it was a great time because Dave and I are similar sort of people. Dave is much cooler than I am, it's true, but we both have this desire to travel the world, to see what the world has to offer, to adventure, and just live life to the fullest, I guess. And I'm not saying that other people don't want to live life to the fullest, but what I'm saying is that for Dave and I, that looks very similar. Dave and I met in 2007. We were both down in North Carolina working with the Salvation Army at a summer camp as counselors. We spent the summer there doing the counselor thing. We had a great time, and it was awesome. But let me tell you about Dave and I. We worked for counselors at a music conservatory section of the camp, which meant that we only worked for 6 weeks. But after the end of those 6 weeks was a territorial conference that happened in Oklahoma. And the way that they used to do it was that the counselors and the music teachers for the conservatory were invited to go to Oklahoma as delegates from the division North and South Carolina. Dave and I both decided that we were going to go. I mean, why would you pass up on a week of free camp? And they were going to fly us and everything. It was beautiful. But there was a week or two, I'm not sure how long it was, but there was a gap in between the end of our contract working at camp and the beginning of this Oklahoma thing. So what are you going to do in those 2 weeks? Dave and I decided to go on an adventure. See, there was another guy who used to work at this North Carolina camp. His name was Matt, he was English, he played trombone, and he was hilarious. But we really didn't know that because this was our first year in North Carolina. So Matt came to the camp and he stayed for a visit for like 3 or 4 days and he hung out with the kids and he did a few workshops or something like that. But he was just there for a visit. He wasn't there working with us. And because we were counselors and we had to look after these kids, we didn't get to spend very much time with Matt at all. But before he left, he put out the offer. If anyone wanted to visit him in between the end of camp and the beginning of this territorial conference, his house was open. Dave and I, 2 Newfoundlanders who wouldn't have known Matt from Adam just 3 days before. That's Dave's expression, and I like it. I might steal it. I wouldn't know him from Adam, yeah? Huh. Anyways, we had no idea who this guy was, and we spent next to no time with him while he was at the camp. And we were the only ones who took him up on his offer. Well, that's not true. There was also a girl, Stephanie. She took him up off the offer and went over with us, but she had spent a little bit more time with him because she was an instructor and not a counselor, and therefore they kept the same hours and they could spend more time together, blah, 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 blah. But that was it. We went there, we hung out, we watched British sitcoms, we went to Waffle House at like 2 in the morning and we stole their toilet paper because Matt was out. Matt and Dave got their photos taken next to the Waffle House lady who was just a random old woman who had fallen asleep on a bench just outside the Waffle House. And I think that story kind of demonstrates the characteristics that I'm trying to articulate about myself and Dave. I know lots of people who would not have done that. I mean, I'm not entirely sure I should have done that. I went and stayed with a practical stranger for 2 days in a foreign country. It was a shared experience and it was an adventure, and it's exactly the kind of stuff that I want to do with my life. But maybe I'll talk about that in a future video because this video is getting a bit long. For a second there I panicked because I realized that I didn't set a timer on the stove when I put the chicken in, but I just realized I got a timer on my camcorder. Oops, I'm sorry, camcorder. Feel like Craig Ferguson. It's a good day for America, everybody! Craig Ferguson's cameras don't fall over. And just for the sake of not leaving a job half done, my chicken. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And look at that. Rick Mercer report. Huh.